YouTube, what's going down? Thanks for coming back, by the way. I appreciate you guys always watching these videos, considering that there's really zero theme except for me constantly being embarrassed my entire life. But with that being said, this is Chat Room Scarred Me. Now, I'm not sure if everyone here is old enough to remember, like, the old school AOL chat room. I'm talking Times Square 1. To give you youngins an update on how chat rooms used to exist, you used to have to, like, wait to get into particular chat rooms. These were, like, special interest chat rooms. I know now you go to watch someone do a live show and you have to wait to be in their one chat room. The chat rooms that I'm talking about basically consisted of the biggest and weirdest perverts on the internet and 12-year-olds just learning how to use the internet. So this particular story takes place back when I was in 8th grade. And it revolves around the first time my friends and I decided we were going to try marijuana. If you want to know my thoughts and stance on pot and marijuana, check it out right there, click on that. You'll know everything. I don't have time to update you, plus I need to go smoke a joint. It's not true, I'm in my office right now. The way this whole thing went down was basically I was at my friend Nick's house. It was he and I and our buddy Alan and Billy were meeting up with us, and they were gonna be bringing the contraband. The wacky tobacco, the jazz cigarettes, the pot, the grass, the Mad Hatter's batter, Santa's glow sticks. I just made that one up. So of course our only way of communicating with them pre-cell phone ownage was through AOL Instant Messenger. Now, let's just separate two groups of people out right now. It's called AIM, not AIM, you weirdos. The people that called it AIM were also the people that had their first kiss through their chat. Asterisk kiss. So through the chat, we're talking to Alan and Billy about what they should bring over, and eventually Alan lobs out, "Should I bring the weed?" in all caps and in green lettering. Well, it's pretty hard to be incognito when the family computer that we're using is in the kitchen where Nick's mom's at, and the huge green letters with weed come up. And that's one message I want to make sure everyone learns out there, is that you are never safe when you're using a family computer doing anything in general. Your parents are your personal equivalent of the NSA. You can call them out for not giving you privacy, but in the end, you're gonna have to suddenly go into hiding. Which, on a side note, reminds me of back in 7th grade, my buddy Alan and I, the one that wrote the weed thing, we used to go into chat rooms and lure people into doing personal AIM messages, and basically to catch a predator to people before that show was even a thing. We'd pose as like a 16-year-old girl, find an Abercrombie and Fitch picture online, say we were just starting modeling, and then like convince them to try to cybersex with us. Then before we get into the cybersex part, we'd find out what their full name is and what state they lived in, and we had this website that was an assessor's club for the county that they lived in, and we could find their address and the picture of their house. So as soon as they started saying things like, "I want to touch your butthole," we'd instantly call them out with some outlandish comment, but back in the day, no one knew the difference. "Freeze! This is the internet police! We have your address!" And we'd put the address that we found right in there to confirm our legitness on the internet police force. "You're going down, you butt-fucking motherfucker." They would almost always freak out as if they're spilling their guts to Chris Matthews. At the time, we just thought it was like the funniest thing in the world. I reflect now, and we legitimately were finding like complete perverts that we should have somehow figured out a way to like turn in. We had their fucking address, we like never did anything about it. The things you realize as you get older. You know what? Fuck that. Glass half full. We scared those guys straight. Now they turned into upstanding citizens. Thanks, me. So anyway, we're on the family computer at Nick's house. Nick's mom walks by, easily sees on the computer that we're talking about weed in 8th grade. So she instantly freaks out. "Nick, what does Alan mean bring weed?" Boom. Gears start turning in our heads. Something needs to be said in order to divert her from thinking that we're juvenile students that are stealing and killing and smoking weed on the railroad tracks, and make her think that we're back to being 8th grade normal kids. So I took the one bit of knowledge that really sponged itself into my head when I was in school, and that was always go with your first instinct when taking tests. What better test than right now? Well, that was a pretty shitty idea, because the only thing that could come to my head as my best excuse was, "Oh no, Mrs. Morford, weed in green letters is actually code for his bass guitar." You know, all the kids are calling bass guitars weed. "Listen to that tasty lick on your weed." She wasn't buying it. So we went with our second rule of thumb: repetition is key. We just kept saying it. "Oh no, that really is what we call it. We call our bass guitars weed." Figuring if he said it at least 10 more times, it'd be 10 times more true. Well, the excuse didn't go over too well when Alan did not show up with a bass guitar. "So Alan, where's your bass guitar?" I forgot it. I forgot mine. Got my base. Smoking like a true champion. But as the night unfolded, we were on like Guantanamo Bay lockdown. We opened the door to let the dog out and Nick's mom was around the corner ready to like snap into action. So I guess in the long run, I don't know if the moral of this story is don't be doing dumb shit like smoking weed in 8th grade, or if it's don't talk about dumb shit on your family computer. Both of those are actually good lessons to learn here. So guys, in the comments below, let me know, what's the worst thing that you've gotten caught for by your parents? On a side note, I'll be at VidCon this week. Come up, let's talk, let's chat, let's have fun, let's take some pictures. I want to high-five your faces. If you see me, do not hesitate to come up and interrupt any conversation that I'm in. Also, make sure to like this video in the description if you want to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can check it all out down there. And as always, guys, I love you. I'm in love with you.